Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Jihad Mahamdi. I am a public speaking coach. I teach introverts in the professional world and in everyday life how to communicate and how to become effective communicators. Now, if you are not interested in an in-depth knowledge, in-depth information about this topic, please don't watch this video because I am here teaching something very deep and I go into the nitty-gritty details, okay? All right. So, today what I would like to talk about is socializing for introverts. How an introvert socializes, what worked for me as an introvert to socialize and to preserve my energy and to play. Because it is a kind of a dance, since we introverts have a problem when it comes to energy preservation, okay? So the first thing we need to know, let me just explain the board, what I'm having here, because I like to do some sketches, some weird drawings, explain what it is, and then we go into the concept. So this is low energy, low E, low energy, and this is high energy. This is the first point, how introverts usually are. Or we're like, most of the time, low energy, we just don't want to talk a lot and we just want to be calm. Or at least not until the right people come that replenish our energy. So I put the moon as a yin side because the moon absorbs the energy of the sun, absorbs the light of the sun, and then that's how it feeds itself, okay? And it is a yin energy. This is how introverts are. They are in yin. They're soft, not very aggressive. And then the yin and the yang, high energy, this is the sun, because the sun is it has an extroverted quality of energy. It gives energy and it doesn't need anything back. It needs nothing back from us when it gives us the sunlight. Now, A, B, C, D. So these are the steps that we go through, that an introvert goes through, and I go through. This helps me personally. This is if I want to socialize, if I'm finding myself in a place where I want to socialize, this is what I want to do. Excuse me, I'm looking here because someone is calling me on the other phone. All right, so A, the first step is facial expressions, okay? So this is step zero, and then here is when you start taking action. Facial expressions, us introverts, we cannot be asked sometimes to do facial expressions. We just like to be like this, poker face, we don't talk a lot, we don't show any emotion. This is how we feel so good. Sometimes we are very happy and that's how we feel so good, okay? It is what it is, yeah? We cannot change that, but we can work with that. So the first step is facial expressions. Maybe you can start like exposing yourself to people, you're in a group of people and you're there. Do not try to force facial expressions. But the first step is try to engage with what they talk about. Of course, you don't have to fake it, because if they are talking about something you don't care about, just don't listen. You don't have to, because obviously we have to look for people who suit us, yeah? Socializing doesn't mean you become good for everybody, yeah? You become Mr. Everybody, get along with everybody, because that means that there's something wrong with you. You are doing something wrong, okay? So this is facial expression, okay? Do not force it, but start engaging, and then your facial expressions start to appear once you get engaged in the conversation, so it doesn't mean you have to be talkative. Then, when you start getting a little bit of energy, you become talkative, yeah? You become talkative this way because you are engaging, and then you start having one reaction, like, oh, okay, yeah, oh, I actually think of this. I actually think that this happens. I actually have this opinion about this thing. Oh, I kind of, yeah, blah, blah, blah. You start speaking slowly. This is step B. We are moving towards the yang energy, towards having higher and higher energy. We can socialize without forcing. Always, it is like a wave that you ride slowly and you keep balance and you don't overthink it, all right? This is how I go about it. And it's good for networking as well. All right, so gradual expression. Now, the facial expressions start to appear, you start to talk, and then now you start being a little bit more polarizing. You start saying things that you think people may disagree with. You start stating opinions. You start being real and showing a bit more of yourself because you feel a little bit more. There is more of a movement inside of you because where attention goes, energy flows. You will be more invested and more engaged, especially if the conversation goes towards something that you enjoy talking about. And in order to make something very enjoyable for you, here is a tip. You just state what you think. State your opinions. Say, this is what I think. Color blue, I hate the color blue. I hate purple. I hate this. You listen to this type of music, I hate this type of music. What starts to happen, you start reaching a visceral way. You start becoming very visceral when it comes to communication. You communicate from a visceral place, from your true self. This is gradual expression, more emotional range, like a higher range of emotions, positive and negative, sad, happy, angry, annoyance, etc. This is what socializing is about, just to express yourself, to relax. And then after that, after a time, you will get into a flow where you start talking, you start communicating, you start telling people what you think, and you start laughing, making jokes, etc. And that will help you with networking with people. So this is a very good 4-step process of kind of understanding how introverts function, how you function, because this is the most important. You have to know how to do it, because sometimes we feel lonely in a place. It doesn't mean you should force yourself. If people annoy you in a place, don't bother, don't bother with them. If they, for example, talk about boring stuff, just don't be there. I'm telling you, when you find a conversation interesting and you want to be engaged in it, you want to talk about it, you want to talk in it, and you want to be part of it, this is how you can go about it. Don't force yourself. Don't go from A to D right away, because that will hurt you, because you still don't have that amount of energy. Okay? So this has been Jihad Mahamdi with you. If you liked the concept I talk about, give me a like, share these videos with the people who you think need them, and leave me a message, leave me a comment. I will comment back and I will answer your questions. So thank you so much, and cheers.